Woo-wee, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie P all day. What's going on with that hairdo? So, it's not a hairdo. This is a hairdo not. So, here is the deal. A lot of companies, a lot of knife companies claim to be bushcraft knives, or claim to make bushcraft knives, but not all of them prove it. You get the knife and you think, okay, it's a good knife, but how is it a bushcraft knife? What is it that's over the top or different than just a regular hunting knife that makes it a bushcraft knife? And, well, some companies are not that way. Some companies send you a knife and you go, all right, that's a bushcraft knife. And I'm talking about something like this. The Croco Knives The Ravager. The Ravager. This thing. I'll tell you what. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. This was one of those deals where it's like, all right, this thing's going to come my way. And it's going to be a knife. And I'm going to knife with it. I'm going to see how it looks. And blah, 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 blah. Here's the model number right here. I'm going to add the link down below, too, so you can check it out. This thing, I'm glad that the model number starts with art number, because it is a work of art. And I am impressed right off the bat. I'm not getting paid for this. Like, I mean, YouTube, we get paid for YouTube, obviously, but I'm not getting paid from the maker of these knives. They're not doing any special things for me. This knife is just really, really good out of the box. How it works outside, we're going to find out. But immediately, first impressions, wow. And here you go. I mean, when you're talking about a bushcraft knife, the sheath is going to say a lot of the story, right? What you see in the opening package is going to tell your mind a lot about what you're in store for. And this sheath is amazing. It's got retention straps. That means you can actually hold other gear in. It's fine leather. I mean, that is nice. It's really thick. It is really well made. This is beautiful. But not only that, you got a little ferro rod, a little mini ferro rod in case you got to strike a fire, because you can't bushcraft without things that you need in the bush. And you think, well, that's great, but you know, where's your striker? And oh, yeah, that's right. It's tucked in back here. Not only that, but you have a steel rod sharpener so you can hone that edge in the field as you go. That, my friends, is what a bushcraft knife is supposed to come with. But a bushcraft knife isn't supposed to just come with a bunch of bushcraft stuff. It's supposed to be a bushcraft knife. That's where this comes in. Check, damn, that sheath is so nice. It is really, really nice. And, I mean, I could tell you it's nice, but I'm showing you it's nice. There's their little Croco logo. It's really cool. It's just a really nice sheath. I'm thoroughly impressed. Now, I could use this little ferro rod with the striker, but I have one outside, and I'm not going to use that little striker in that ferro rod because that's what comes with it, and it's expected. You could use that little striker on any ferro rod. It's going to work. But a bushcraft knife, you shouldn't need a striker. You should have a bushcraft knife. Yeah, that should strike a ferro rod right there, and we're going to find out. This is a bushcraft knife. Now, design-wise, like right off the bat, coming from a designer's mind, let me tell you, this is done really freaking well in the design department, all the way down to the strap holder rather than a lanyard hole, which gives you more options for your carry, right? They just have a piece of leather in there right now. You can put anything you want in there. But it being a strap slot means you could do like a camera strap. You could do just wider pieces. You could do double rows, anything you want, because it's bushcraft ready. Also, one of the very impressive things is all of the hardware is sunk. Well, what does that mean? What does that matter? Blah, blah, blah. That matters in the bushcraft world, because bushcrafting is for all weather. It's all weather. The least amount of steel you can have where your main part of your grip is going to be, this part of your hand right here and this part of your hand right here. You don't want touching too much steel because it's going to get cold. Now, I know right here, this is true full tang. Right here, my hand isn't really, when I knuckle up on this, in the cold, that's not going to be hitting me, right? And so if I'm using it as a bushcraft knife, I'm going to have an open hand like this, and I'm going to be tooling with it, because that's what bushcraft knives do. It's not a fighting knife. I'm not going to be gripping it with all my might. So these little areas right here that would normally be steel are sunk. So it's really gonna, it helps. I mean, a little, it's a thing, but it really does help when you're in freezing cold. And let's say you need to do something intricate and you can't wear a glove. You take your glove off, you're going to be really happy those little cold spots aren't going to be hitting you. And it's a stupid little thing, but it matters. All right. Your strap hole is also exposed. What does that mean? That means if he did the G10 all the way through, then what's going to happen is you're constantly going to have that strap rubbing, and it's going to be a wider strap opening, where this, you can have something really tight and really thin, and you can wrap in that way if you're using it for any kind of task, for twisting to pull and all that jazz. It just gives you a nice tighter hold, which is really freaking good. Let's go over some of the specs of this guy because it's perfect size. The blade length itself, 5.5 inches. It's bushcraft. This isn't your giant camp buoy. Say bushcraft knife, 5.5, 6, well, 4 to 6 inches really is exactly what you want for a bushcraft knife. Thickness of the blade, 5.5 millimeters. That thing is awesome, man. It's a little crowbar right there. Your Rockwell hardness is 58 to 60. Oh, I'm sorry, micarta, not G10. It is a textured micarta. Let's see, fire starter kit, sharpening spike, leather sheath, and yada, yada, yada. But D-Bad, what is that steel? Because we need a good steel for bushcraft. You do. And they use D2. They use D2. And if you've noticed anything, like when I talk about my steel wheels and my SE, like a Vespa and all that, I am a huge D2 fan. Huge D2 fan. I actually just really like the steel. It works for me. And so do many others, but I just happen to like it. I have a lot of knives in D2. So you have a double choil, top and bottom, offset, because the designer who made this is smart. A lot of people will do a choil when they're doing a double. They put them up and down equal, in an even spot. But that's not how the hand works. The hand works like this. Hand doesn't work like this, right? So when they did this one, they made sure it functions. And because you have a little piece of ricasso right on the end of the ricasso right here, there's a little flat part, you are off, even with a full hold, you are off of the edge. Hey, thank you for being smart enough to do that. You do have a small branding area, which is nice rather than having this big billboard across your blade. They leave it nice and clean, as it should be. The texturing on this micarta, look at this, man. This is freaking beautiful. This is beautiful. Like art. The art number. This is art. And this is why people like me don't like people who destroy knives on purpose, because they're art, right? It's art. You're destroying art. Now, you haven't seen it work yet, so we're going to go and find out if it does what it's supposed to do as well as it looks. And if it does, check this out. The price for this thing is only $89. $89. So if this bushcraft's as good as it looks design-wise, then for 89 bucks, that's really good. So what do you say we take this on going outside and see what we can do with it? Come on. Ooh, it is beautiful out here in New England. All right, so first things first, let's get a look at this thing in the sun, man. Ooh-wee, that is nice. That is just a nice looking knife. I love the shape. I really love the handle. It is insanely comfortable. Ginormous hands fit in between the swells as it should. Golly, there is nothing as far as the design aspect of this thing that I don't like. There's nothing. There's nothing I can pick apart. So you do have a swedged area tip right here, swedged. So look how fat that tip is. You're going to have a nice tip, even on a modified clipper. And then you have this area right here, which is good for a few things. It's good for shaving bark. It's good for making little tiny little fluff for your fire. And it's good for striking a fire. So it should be. And we're going to find that out. The weight is just right. I didn't read what the weight was, but I can tell you it just feels nice. This is what you look for in a bushcraft knife as far as styling. Out of the box styling it's already got a 1-up, right? It's already there. So we're gonna need to find out if this thing is sharp and if it goes. As a matter of fact, let's see. Let's see here. Can't get to my arm hair right now. Oh my goodness. All right. I think you guys could see all that. That was, I barely touched myself. Touched myself. Literally barely even got started and out of the box. Super clean shave. Let's see here. Woohoo! That's sharp. I'm going this way. That thing is crazy. That's all hair. That is, I could literally shave with this thing. They talk about shave sharp. Oh man, this thing, that is shave, so you can see all those on there. Shave sharp isn't just a term. That means, can you shave with it? I can shave with this. All right, so out of the box, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. This might be deal gone good right here, man. All right, so let's try a push cut, half-inch nylon rope, and that was a freaking breeze. That's really good if you trap a deer with a nylon rope tied to his neck. You can always free him up before you cook him up. All right, so here we go. We got extension cord. Let's see if we could just pound through that. That's going to be no problem at all. How's the edge? It feels nice. It feels nice. Let's do a couple of a couple downward drops, 4-footers, 4 feet from the tip to the stump. We're going to check the swedge, the bite on that. We're going to check the balance. We just want to see how it falls, how it hits, how it sticks. Now we're going to do a couple hard downward throws. Main thing, we want to see if anything's going to loosen here, and we want to see bite and tip strength. Oh man, I can tell you right now, the bite is fantastic. Ooh, that freaking hits, man. So obviously nothing's going to loosen. It's just a small test I like to do. It checks very minor things, but sometimes very minor things are very big things in the bush. You just never, ever know. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Wow. This is soft wood. I'm not gonna lie, it's really soft, but edge geometry is edge geometry no matter what. And this thing has edge geometry. What we need to do is find this. There we go. This is what I wanted. Nice piece of sycamore right here. Look at that knot. See that knot right there? That just tore straight through. All right, so let's see. Oh my gosh, on nice harder woods. Look at this thing, man. Look at this thing. Nice, thin, beautiful curls. Man. And they're all falling off because the edge is just so nice. I'm gliding through the wood. It's like I'm barely able to stop myself. It's just that good. Let's see if we can't do some pulls here. Oh, of course we can. And they are going to be lovely. All right. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Different style. We're going to go to side grip. We're going to try for curls, little curls. And there's a difference between swoops and curls. And this one can do anything you want it to do. This is really, really nice. All right, so let's see. We got to make tent spikes, pit spikes, anything of that nature. You need to put a tip on a stick. You need a good knife with a good edge. And right off the bat. Now, I just did a test on my own knife, the D-Bad Mission 2, and I have to say the D-Bad Mission 2 is like a hammer of a knife. It's a hitter. Convex edge, nowhere near, like, as far as this kind of stuff, this would be a perfect knife to pair with my D-Bad Mission 2. That D-Bad Mission 2 will take down a bear. This guy right here will process it. I mean, just absolutely impeccable. Impeccable, man. This is a company I've never heard of before. Never heard of them. And I have now, and I don't think I'm going to stop hearing from them. I just literally chunked that up. I was just trying to take off that little tip, and I cut something into that pretty fierce. All right, so bushcraft, let's try and use the swedge, all right, and see what we can't get. Look at this. Look at this. So now I was telling you about that little tiny fluff, right? When you're talking about getting a fire going and you need to catch spark. You see that stuff right there? You see that? You get a big pile of that and you're in good business, right? So not only is it taking off the bark, and I'm going to show you all the way around. I'm going to clear this thing. Look at it. It's just so nice. So nice. You're making a walking stick, you're making arrows, you need something smooth and uniform. All right, so you look at this, right? You look at all that bark, and that's that thin, hard bark, it sticks to it. Look at that. Hard bark, hard bark. That's all right there with the spine. That's all with the spine. Now we got to do some notching because it's bushcraft. All right, well, let's try some notching. Right here, we got a little wedge notch. Nice and easy. Man, looks like the reed on a flute. Look at that. That is beautiful. Okay, but we got to turn it into a square notch. All right, well, let's turn it into a square notch. Do that same thing. Flip it around to the other side. And you get yourself a square notch. It's pretty simple. I call this the Lincoln log notch. It's how you put them together. So if you have two sticks that you're trying to fit together to do some sheltering or to trap making, you might want to make a really nice square notch to fit two together. That's just good, man. So now what we're going to do is we're going to peel this one away, right? And we're going to make a big notch just like that. Look at this. Look at this. Man, this knife is as bushcraft as it gets when it comes to that. That is just sweet, guys. I mean, I've come across a lot of them. I have some good ones. That SE6 is a great knife. It's a great camp knife. Bushcraft, when it comes to just plain old bushcraft, this thing right here is a winner. That is a winner. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Oh, yeah, but how's that D2 holding up? Huh, you tell me, man. That thing looks great. I know we just got started. We just did a few things. So let's do, you know, we haven't done this in a while. We're going to do a hard downward stab into some layers of leather. Some thick leather, too. Saddlebags. Let's see how we do here. Oh, man. Oh, that went all the way through everything into the stump. I mean, that's every panel is 2 layers. 2 layers of that thick leather. That's scored through like I forgot to tell it what it was about to do, and it just did it anyway. You know what I mean? It's like you tell somebody you're about to do something, and then they prepare for it, and they might choke up. Ooh, almost went down. That thing just went straight through. All right, but it's bushcraft, D-Bad. It's bushcraft, so that means it's got to be able to skin and things like that. Well, absolutely, you're right. And if it doesn't, it's not bushcraft. So let's find out. Let's find out. All right, so I was just literally putting the tip in and trying to work around my fingers and the camera at the same time. And, I mean, it's just, bam, it just went straight through. Let's try and, oh, gosh. It's just so nice. Turn around here. Oh, I'm not even on frame. Terrible knife reviewer. All right, so here we go. I mean, it's just that simple. It's that simple, man. This thing is sweet. It is sweet. That is bushcraft 101 all day fun. All right, so here we go. It's a test I like to do with this material. Wow, that went through 2 layers. I just cut through where some knives, and bushcraft knives especially, had trouble going through 1. Ooh, doggy. This is nice, man. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of times you look at a knife and you say to yourself, yes or no, and you're making a guess, should I or should I not? This is one of those knives where I was like, hell yes, I would love to try one of these Crocos. I really wanted to see what this thing's about. That's a great decision to say yes to, because this thing is sweet, man. You know what? Let's come on. Oh, ferro rod. We have to test that spine. We have to test that perfectly placed area so we can see if this thing's gonna strike. See, I got my ferro rod, and I tell you guys all the time that my main ferro rod striker is my Baco folding saw. here's my ferro rod. You can see that thing is very well used. And it's sitting right here with my saw because it's next to a fire pit. That's what I use every time to light a fire. I don't use matches, lighters, or anything else. I use a folding saw, and I use this chewed up ferro rod. And I'm pretty sure you guys can see those sparks flying immediately. Testing the spine to make sure there's no damage. Nothing. So, is it going to be able to get you fire? Yes. Is it going to be able to process you some animal? Yes. Is it going to be able to feather stick to give you some fluff to get the fire started? Yes. But is it going to be able to process the wood to keep the fire going? We don't know. So let's find out real quick. Let's find out if it's going to be able to process. Let's see. Bring you guys down here. There's my level. Nice piece of wood here too. It's nice and stiff. And straight through. Am I going to be able to make kindling and get pieces of wood for my fire? Well, you tell me. You tell me. Because so far, it looks like that answer is yes. There's a big fat knot right there. I'm going to give it one hard shot. Oh, that's Knotsville right there. That's Knotsville right there. Knots are bad for edges. Not this one, though. Not this one, though, because that just cruised right through. All right, so here we go. Let's do a little split. I mean, is it supposed to be that easy? This thing is nice. This is Croco Knives, man. I am digging. I'm gonna need some more of these, man. This brand just opened up my attention box. It opened up my attention box because it's got me wondering now, how good is this brand? They have some really nice Damascus pieces, but there's something about this, man. Something about a badass bushcraft knife that makes a man say, yeah, all right, now we're in. Now we're in. So, let's see. You know what comes next. You know what comes next. Every knife maker in the world says, no, man, don't do that. But sometimes, first try happens. You throw a knife, and it hits really solid. Yeah. You know I got to throw it. I got to throw it. That's part of the game. So, Croco Knives, the Ravager. I have to say, they're selling this as a bushcraft knife. This is a bushcraft knife. This thing is sweet. This is really sweet, as a matter of fact. You know, Scab over at Choir Boys, Cutlery Outdoors, what is he? Scab's always saying, man, Donnie always finds these diamonds in the rough. He always finds these blades that either people haven't heard about or people just don't know about yet. Well, let me tell you something. This is one of those diamonds in the roughs. This is one of those times when you're like, damn, Scab nailed it again. Nailed it again, Scabber. This thing is sweet, man. This thing is sweet, man. I have just become an instant fan of Croco Knives. Are all the rest of their knives this good? I don't know. I might just have to try another one because this thing is really nice. I'm trying to make sure all on the edge is good. All of the edge is good. There's no damage here. I've been whacking on it here. I mean, a throw, just, it's a bushcraft knife. And the fact that it comes with a little fire kit attached to a very bushcrafty sheath is just bonus. It's bonus material. The micarta, the entire time cutting, the micarta has been just absolutely heaven in the hand. This thing, whoever is in charge of their handle department over at Croco Knives, you guys did great. I have Shelly in the window giving me a message. So it looks like it's time to go inside. So this thing right here, this thing is a beast. All right, I'm impressed. Can I recommend a Croco Knives, especially the Ravager, because it's the only one I've tested? 100% and absolutely. Especially, I mean, sub $100. This shouldn't be sub $100. The sheath alone should be $100. This is great.
This is great. That's it for this one. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.